Hey everybody, Dan Slade here. Here it is, the final chapter of our Harry Potter holiday celebration. This will be covering the last two films, The Deathly Hallows, parts 1 and 2. Keep in mind that when we talk about part 1, there are some things that bleed in from part 2. If you think about it, it's just one big story. It was just split up into two parts. That's all there is. We also talk about a couple of things that came after the movies. One thing we didn't get to was I want to mention there were two game shows. There was a trivia one hosted by Helen Mirren, and then another one that's I think finishing up right now. That's like a cooking competition, and some of the actors from the films are coming back to be judges on that. So, without further ado, enjoy our last leg of the Harry Potter celebration here on As the Real Turns. Welcome once again to As the Real Turns, your place for all things movie and television. And we have got another great show for you today. We're doing a second part in retrospect. If you've seen the other two episodes from the last month, it could be seen as a third part as well. But officially, it is the second part of our November-December series covering Harry Potter. Yes, Harry Potter and the second part. So what this is going to mean is that we're going to be covering years 5 through 7, which it's a weird type of thing because you might be asking yourself, well, there were 4 movies in the last one. Well, there are still 4 movies in this one because we'll get to that 7th movie when we get there. And we've got a great Harry Potter fan to talk about it with. We've got my good friend Ashley. Welcome to the show, Ashley.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome back.
We lost still into the Dementors.
We did, actually. And you know what? That's okay. See how unfazed I am about it? Yeah. All right. So we're going to be talking about the second half of Harry Potter. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, there was a trend. If there was a massive book series, it doesn't matter how long it was, if there was a massive book series, the last book, if it were turned into films, well, we had to make this as much money as possible. So we would take that last book and split it up into 2 different movies, a part 1 and a part 2. The Hunger Games did this, Twilight did this, and so did Harry Potter. So they took the last book, The Deathly Hallows, and split it up into 2 parts. So in 2010, we got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. Okay, this also gets that, oh, there's nothing that happens in this movie. We can skip it. Curse, or whatever you want to call it. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. Actually, I kind of agree with that. What happened in this movie again? So, Dumbledore's dead. Harry, Ron, and Hermione are kind of off on their own. because Snape has taken over Hogwarts, and Voldemort is full on taking over, period. Voldemort and the Ministry are going after Muggles. They want to destroy the world. Anybody that practices magic that is not a full blood, the famous insult mudblood, death to all of them. All this type of stuff is going on. So Harry, Ron, and Hermione have to kind of go off on their own, like I said, and see what they can do to fix it. They try to have some brevity, here with a Weasley wedding. They have all the friends come together at Harry's house there when he's not at Hogwarts. But the famous parts are when the trio are out on their own in the wilderness, going up against whatever comes at them and themselves. Ashley, what do we think of the Deathly Hallows Part 1? A lot happens in this, but also sometimes not much happens in this. What do you think?
I feel like it probably feels like not much is happening because they're so isolated for a lot of it, so you're not seeing a whole ton of like character interaction.
Yeah.
But they really are doing a lot because they're out searching for the Horcruxes to destroy, which is obviously super important because they're not going to take down Voldemort until they take down those pieces and
I do like
eliminate. That does look cool.
Yeah. Sorry.
Kind of like kill those parts of him to weaken him, because otherwise the big fight in the next movie, I don't think anybody would have made it out.
Yeah, that does take up most of the movie, is just them hunting these Horcrux things, which, begs the problem of splitting it up into two parts. You got to fill up the runtime of these movies, which are long to begin with. And how are you going to fill it up? Do we add more dialogue? Do we have more scenes that aren't in the book? That's never happened. But yeah, no, I
don't like to be kept waiting.
I know she's an imposter. They've been warned.
Harry. What do we do, Harry?
Madame Lestrange, would you mind presenting your wand?
And why should I do that?
It's the bank's policy. I'm sure you understand, given the current climate.
No. I most certainly do not understand.
I'm afraid I must insist.
Imperium.
Very well, Madame Lestrange. If you will follow me.
I like some of the scenes in here where the trio go into the famous Gringotts bank after drinking some polyjuice potion and changing into other people. Having them speak with the bodies of other people. That's kind of funny. We've seen that before, of course, in other movies. Some of the scenes actually between the trio are very good. Like Harry and Hermione go off to where Harry was born, Godric's Hollow, and they go to the grave of Harry's parents, and there's a nice song that's heard. It's Christmas time, again. There's a nice song that's heard from the church next to the cemetery, and it's an original Christmas song done by the composer of that film called My Love Is Always Near, or Here. My Love Is Always Here. And definitely give a listen to that song, because it's actually really, really nice chorus song, basically.
Good night.
Harry, I think it's Christmas Eve. Listen.
Do you think they'd be in there, Hermione? My mum and dad?
Yeah, I think they would.
Merry Christmas, Hermione.
Merry Christmas, Harry.
So I like that scene. I found it a little weird when Ron kind of has his nightmare once he's about to destroy a Horcrux of, I'm not making this up, folks, of Harry and Hermione kissing, possibly unclothed. See, like, you blocked that out of your mind, yeah.
I'm like vaguely remembering that.
I have seen your dreams, Ronald Weasley.
We were better without you. Happier without you.
Who could look at you compared to Harry Potter?
Just think. Only 3 to go.
It's a little weird, but I'm like, I don't know if Rowling wrote that or not. I don't know. It's those scenes like that, though. I mean,
it makes sense
it's weird.
though, because he does like have all these feelings for Hermione that they obviously haven't verbalized yet. So he's like, oh, if the girl I like ends up with like my best friend, and then I'm left out here and I lose everybody at once.
Yeah.
I think that's probably just a really just scary thing for him. And obviously the Horcruxes were like playing with his mind the whole time, probably just trying to destroy him from the inside out.
Yeah. And we do get to find out what the Deathly Hallows are, which are this, it's basically like a trio of items that can destroy together something, but they could also destroy the people that have them. And it's told through this kind of children's type of story about these 3 brothers who receive an invisibility cloak, like an indestructible wand, and a stone that brings back the dead. And together, they form the Deathly.
It was a symbol.
You mean this?
Yes. That exactly. What we wondered is, what is it?
What is it? Well, it's the sign of the Deathly Hallows, of course.
The what?
The what?
The Deathly Hallows. I assume you're all familiar with the tale of the 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
I have it in here. There were once 3 brothers who were traveling along a lonely, winding road at twilight.
Midnight. Mum always said midnight.
There were once 3 brothers who were traveling along a lonely, winding road. They found their path blocked by a hooded figure. It was Death, and he felt cheated. Cheated because travelers would normally drown in the river, but Death was cunning. He pretended to congratulate the 3 brothers on their magic and said that each had earned a prize for having been clever enough to evade him. The oldest asked for a wand more powerful than any in existence, so Death fashioned him one from an elder tree that stood nearby. The second brother decided he wanted to humiliate Death even further and asked for the power to recall loved ones from the grave. So Death plucked a stone from the river and offered it to him. Finally, Death turned to the third brother. A humble man, he asked for something that would allow him to go forth from that place without being followed by Death. And so it was that Death reluctantly handed over his own cloak of invisibility. But that night, another wizard stole the wand and slit the brother's throat for good measure. And so Death took the first brother for his own. Driven mad with hopeless longing, the second brother killed himself so as to join her. And so Death took the second brother. Only when he attained a great age did the youngest brother shed the cloak of invisibility and give it to his son. He then greeted Death as an old friend and went with him gladly, departing this life.
Of course, each brother, two of the brothers die from using their given items by Death too much, but the one with the invisibility cloak gets away with it. Ooh. So it's kind of a fun story, and it's interesting because, you know, we have seen an invisibility cloak. Voldemort decides to go grave robbing and steals Dumbledore's Elder Wand, and then... I don't know where the stone comes into play. It's somewhere.
I'm blanking also.
Yeah.
Didn't it show up in the hat?
Oh,
Maybe
it might have been, yeah.
That was delivered by the Phoenix? I could be mixing
possibly,
up scenes.
Yeah. But one scene you were mentioning that we would go to in this movie is Bellatrix goes full out because there's a part where she and some other Death Eaters capture our heroes, and she goes full-on dark torture on poor Hermione.
Put the boys in the cellar! I want to have a little conversation with this one. Go to go! Sword is meant to be in my vault of Gringotts. How did you get it? What did you and your friends take from my vault?
I didn't take anything. I didn't take anything.
I don't believe it. Who stole it? Who stole it? Well,
When I was last in your vault, the sword was there.
perhaps it just walked out on its own then. You said for this one.
Like hell. Expelliarmus!
Drop your wands. I said drop them! Pick them up, Dragon, now! Well, well, well. Look what we have here. It's Harry Potter. It's all bright and shiny and new again. Just in time for the Dark Lord. Call him
Carter does a great job. So does Emma Watson. But like that scene.
Even the scene that I was thinking about was when
there's something else?
There is, which just shows how well she did in this movie. When they were trying to break into her vault in the bank, and basically, so obviously it's her body, so it's Helena Bonham Carter acting, but she is acting as Bellatrix, kind of as her body, but she's acting as Hermione, acting as Bellatrix, and I think she does a very good job in that performance.
That she does, yeah, she does a very good job because you have to pretend you're basically someone else with still being you.
Yeah,
and
a lot of layers.
A lot of layers, yeah. It's very, very good, and yeah, they do a very good job, and of course the giant dragon that comes out of Gringotts there is really well done too.
Sequence, that whole like scene of getting into the bank and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't get that torture scene out of my head because I'm like, oh man, that is dark. What happened to Harry Potter?
And it shows. I mean, I guess it wasn't like a total secret though, because I believe that was how she killed Neville's parents, was by torturing them for information. I believe he might have been there as well, so that was also probably pretty traumatizing to him to be like, oh, my parents' murderer is back. And now, I can't remember which movie he died in, but Sirius Black's murderer.
That was Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, we lose Sirius Black in that movie too. But yeah, and of course, apparently with Harry Potter, we have to end on a death now. And, okay. It can go many different ways on how you want to think about it, but sorry, Magic and Tech team. We lose Dobby. You're devastated, I can tell. We lose... this is why we need a camera in that room. We lose Dobby because Bellatrix throws like a piece of glass right before they teleport away, and we lose him.
You take a witch's wand! How dare you defy your masters!
Dobby has no master. Dobby is a free elf, and Dobby has come to save Harry Potter and his friends.
Dobby. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Just hold on, okay? We'll fix you. Hermione, have something in your bag. Hermione?
Dobby is happy to be with his friend.
I want to bury him. Properly. Without magic.
is that really that bad?
I feel like it's probably mixed for people because I know some people just didn't like Dobby because he was annoying.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were really broken up about it because he was like such a friend to Harry and his friends. Like once he was freed, like he didn't make a ton of appearances, but he was always there to like help him and aid. And then I'm sure he was a friend to Harry by the end. So losing another one right in front of him, I know was probably devastating to the trio.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, like if you haven't seen Deathly Hallows Part 1, or you like have that thought process of where it's like, okay, it's skippable, but don't necessarily skip it, because there are some good parts in it, and it is entertaining enough. It just can go a little slow sometimes, because it's like, how many times are we to that Horcrux yet? Are we there yet, people? No, we're not. But yeah.
Yeah, it is slow paced, but I feel like it is important to tie to the second movie, because if you just skip that one altogether, I feel like you're going to be very confused.
Yeah.
Come the very last one.
And there really is no recap with the second film, so they dump you in, which was what we're going to do right now. The very next year, 2011, they dumped you right into, we are going to end Harry Potter with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Where we last left Harry Potter. No. Yes, so now we're finally going to end this chapter. It sounds like I'm happy for it to end. I don't want it to. But we've been on this journey with these characters for so long. So, what happens? We finally get some more Horcruxes found. Harry returns to Hogwarts. He's going to face down Snape. He's going to face down Voldemort. This is the end. There's one problem. One of the Horcruxes is not only Voldemort himself, but Harry. And since we're basically, quote, killing all the Horcruxes, we kind of have to kill our hero. Spoilers. So, yes, the epic battle is about to begin. All of Voldemort's forces are going to go up against Harry Potter and friends. That's kind of what it's like. Voldemort's forces versus Harry and friends. This is not, you thought we were not going to ever see Voldemort again? Dumbledore again? Hey, he comes back in a dream sequence, sort of. Okay, a lot, again, is happening in this movie. Some fantastic lines, though, basically from Maggie Smith. She has some great lines where she's like recruiting the armed forces of Hogwarts, and she applauds that Potter is back. Wonderful lines from her. I love them. And okay, there's an end sequence that we'll talk about, and then we'll talk about how we lose Harry here. Yeah, we lose Harry, or do we? All that said, Ashley, what do you think of the Deathly Hallows Part 2? Is it the finale we were all hoping for?
I feel like it. There is a lot that happens in this movie because they still had to finish up finding the final Horcruxes. The battle's like really beginning. The forces are moving in. And really everybody, like all of his friends, like everybody's involved. Like without each and every one of them, I don't think they would have won, because it's like you have Harry going after like Voldemort and Snape. You have Neville who takes care of the snake. Ron and Hermione who find the last Horcrux down in the where the basilisk was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it was very much a team effort, which is kind of nice to see that everybody had their moment to shine.
I do like that one bit. You mentioned Neville there. I do like that one bit where he, he's on that very long bridge, and the people of Hogwarts have put up basically a force field around the school, and the army is basically right up against that force field, and they all like start disintegrating or something like that. And Neville's like, "Ha! Take that! You lose, army! You lose!" And then the field goes down. Oh, he starts running the other way.
Yeah? You lose, army!
I love that, and like I said, the line from Maggie Smith when these huge stone soldiers jump down, she says, I think to Mrs. Weasley, "I always wanted to use that spell."
But this was playing on our TV the other day, and that came on. And I was like, I love that part. I love how McGonagall just really dives in. She's like, all right, I don't have to be reserved anymore. I can tell you all what I really think.
Oh, yeah.
She's just lost her patience, which rightfully so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't want Snape as my headmaster telling me what to do, yeah. The big climax between Harry and Voldemort, it's there are some rather interesting points and some awkward points. Awkward point number one is when Voldemort calls Draco to him and the awkward hug. You can't mention that scene without the awkward hug.
And I think it's meant to be awkward because I think Draco's realizing, like, wow, I'm doing some horrible stuff. I don't want to be doing this. I'm just scared for my life.
Yeah.
And then obviously Voldemort's like, yeah, my loyal dude, do what I want. And he's just like, I don't know how to respond.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. Please don't kill me.
He's like, I don't want to kill Potter, but that doesn't mean I have to like him, basically.
Ah, well done, Draco. Well done.
And then awkward point number two is the infamous, like, mini evil laugh he does. The Yeah. Ray Fiennes, I don't know what he was thinking, but whatever.
Harry Potter is dead!
But yeah, no, everything's going on. I mean, like, yeah, Neville takes care of that snake. If you've seen How It Should Have Ended, I'm awesome.
You're insane! And now we're about to kill your pet snake!
I'm awesome!
It's over!
And the loss of Harry, because there's a scene, I think it's in the Dark Forest somewhere, where it's like Voldemort comes, they have poor Hagrid tied up, and Harry is just sitting there, like, you know, and Voldemort comes like, the boy who lived, come to die. And that scene where Hagrid just comes in carrying Potter, that's dramatic.
Yeah, that was a heavy hitter, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We lost Harry tonight. He's still with us. In here. So's Fred. Remus. Tonks. All of them. They didn't die in vain. But you will. Because you're wrong. Harry's heart did beat for us. For all of us. It's not over.
But then it's like, you might as well just throw across the street. Psych!
Yeah.
He's fine. Do you think, even if that had to be written in the book, but even with that, do you think that was like a cop-out? It's like, oh no, we can't kill our main character.
I think it ties in like with the Deathly Hallows, because it was confusing for me when I first watched it, and then like looking back and reflecting and after watching it again. Basically, I think what happens is obviously Voldemort kills Harry, and then he goes to King's Crossing and meets like Dumbledore there and talks to him, and then you see this little shriveled up, little wrinkly Voldemort under the bench, and he's like, "How am I here? Am I dead? Is that dead?" And I guess what happens is, so he died, but so did the part of Voldemort, and because he was given the Resurrection Stone at some point, so he was able to come back, but not that part of Voldemort. So he basically took out his own Horcrux.
You can't help. Harry, you wonderful boy. You brave, brave man.
It looks like King's Cross Station. Only cleaner. And without all the trains.
King's Cross, is that right? This is, as they say, your party.
I have to go back, haven't I?
Oh, that's up to you.
I have a choice.
Oh, yes. We're in King's Cross, you say? I think if you so desired, you'll be able to board a train.
And where would it take me?
On. Do not pity the dead, Harry. Pity the living. And above all those who live without love.
Is this all real? Or is it just happening inside my head?
Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
It's confusing. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it all worked out in the end, obviously. And I guess there's a third awkward point where it's like people complain about how Voldemort died with the disintegration flakes, I guess.
I mean, good luck resurrecting ashes. So
I don't know.
It's a good way to finalize that. Instant cremation.
Yeah, I guess they wanted something to tell you that definitely he's not coming back or not in a physical form. So I don't know what it was, but it's a little weird. They end the movie with a 19 years later. They have the trio plus Ginny grown up and sending their kids off to Hogwarts. Harry and Ginny are married, and then Ron and Hermione are married now. That scene, again, back to how it should have ended, kind of put it in a good way, saying maybe that scene should have been only in the extended Blu-ray cut. Is that scene necessary, or do you think they should have ended it with the characters as they were?
I guess it all depends on the intention. To me, I didn't find it as really necessary, but I guess it is there to like set up like sequels or like anything that like happened between the Battle of Hogwarts to then, if they wanted to like go back and revisit any time between there, I guess. So I guess it's good setup if they wanted to make something else with it. So I feel like it was nice to have, but not necessarily needed for the plot or anything.
Right,
'Cause it's more of just an epilogue.
Bag? Yeah. Jumper? I miss you.
Here they come.
Albus Severus Potter. You were named after 2 headmasters of Hogwarts. One of them was a Slytherin, and he was the bravest man I've ever known.
Would you say that I am?
Then Slytherin House will have gained a wonderful young wizard.
Yeah, that's a good word for it, is epilogue. I don't know how I feel about it necessarily, but I think they tried to make him look older, basically. They did some makeup on them, and it was okay. I don't know. But yeah, that's how they ended Harry Potter. And here we all thought, ha ha ha, ha, that's the end. Yeah, no.
Never.
Not gonna happen. But that is the official end of Harry Potter in many people's books. However, here's the actual epilogue to Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling went ahead and wrote an 8th story, basically picking up about where that scene was, sending the new kids off to Hogwarts. This is in form of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which became a stage play in Broadway. Okay, on Broadway, sure. Some interesting cast choices in this Broadway show. That's all I'm going to say. Interesting cast choices. But there is always that forever rumor that we will get that 8th movie with the original cast. Do you think that should happen? Do you think they would go ahead and make that movie?
I guess it all comes to demand.
Would you want that movie?
Yes. I don't know. I haven't really felt like, I don't feel like I've heard a lot of people like really pining for another movie with them all. I feel like they would be interested in it, but I don't know. I feel like they're all like, all right, we've ended it. It's at a good note. Like, why?
It was a generation for sure.
Yeah. And they're even already like doing reboots, I think, in the UK. So they're like doing like a new like mini series, I think.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that. Yeah, there's a new TV series coming out where they're basically starting from scratch. And I say, you can tell me as much as you want as this new kid is Harry Potter. Sorry, Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter.
Yeah, I feel like the original movies are just too ingrained in our society where it's like, I'm sure there are people who are interested. I feel like maybe the younger generations might latch onto it a little bit more since they didn't grow up with the movie, so they don't have that attachment. So it's like the whole argument like, oh, it's made for the younger generations.
Right. However, we can't lose this world, some people say. So we're out of books to do movies on. Well, there's a textbook here. They went ahead and did make a prequel trilogy type of thing called the Fantastic Beasts trilogy, starting out with Where to Find Them, Crimes of Grindelwald, and Secret of Dumbledore. And now, they just didn't grab me. They had it was Eddie Redmayne was the main lead of those films, and it was basically just how he discovered kind of the wizarding world, collected all these creatures from the wizarding world, and met people that we would know to learn or have heard of in the Harry Potter films. Like, we've heard of Grindelwald, obviously Dumbledore, and we get to know we get to revisit some of the locations and places from that world, but they just didn't grab me. Were they necessary?
I feel like not really. They're good for the people that are like really into the world and want to know like all the backstory. Because I saw Fantastic Beasts and it was a good movie. It was fun. To me personally, I didn't feel like you don't need to see them to be able to understand Harry Potter at all. But you do like recognize the names, like Newt Scamander, the protagonist of Fantastic Beasts.
Yep.
His name pops up somewhere in the movies. I think in a family line. I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody's a descendant of him. It might be Luna.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
He's related to somebody.
Okay.
But
sure, why
I
not?
don't know if they really tied him in, at least in the movies, into their timeline.
Yeah. It's weird. I honestly think I saw the worst one. I think I saw Secret of Dumbledore, which there's an ongoing joke about like what really was the secret of Dumbledore. You watch the movie, you'll find out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one or the one of Grindelwald, but I know the main thing that I've heard was when did Dumbledore lose his sense of style?
Oh.
Because he, in that movie, I guess, was wearing very nice like suits and everything, and obviously in Harry Potter he has like the traditional robes.
Sure.
So I don't know if maybe it's just traditional wear, just your school uniform.
Well, I heard something else that he was hiding some other kind of secret. We'll just leave it there. You probably know.
To be watched later.
Yeah, exactly. So, also, if you want to go, but you know, films are not the last of Harry Potter because we also have if you want to experience yourself Harry Potter, if you want to get as close as you can to the Wizarding World, you can go ahead and go to Universal Studios, and you can get. You can go to Hogwarts, you can go to Hogsmeade, which is the town next door. You can experience a ride, do all that fun stuff. I would love to go there, honestly. I am so looking forward to doing that someday. I think it'd be fun.
It would be very fun. I've wanted to go. I have not been myself.
Let's do it. I'm ready to go.
Think of that powerful memory. Make it the happiest you can remember.
It feels like no time has passed and loads of time has passed.
I think this is the perfect time to sit down with everyone and reminisce.
The thing that scared me the most was the implication that the most meaningful thing in our life was done. And there's something so joyous about seeing everyone and be like, there wasn't though.
One of the highlights of my part was when I had to pretend to be Hermione, pretending to be Bellatrix.
I don't like to be kept waiting.
I've still got the teeth, actually. I'll put them in if you want.
My sister has children who are then around 10, 11, 12. And I said, Martha, I don't know about this Voldemort. What? You're being asked to play Voldemort? You've got to do it!
I wouldn't be the person I am without so many people here.
It's a very overwhelming thing because I've watched you grow up and I've seen kind of every stage of your life.
When things get really dark and times are really hard, there's something about Harry Potter that makes life richer.
It's a strong bond that we'll always have. We're family and we will always be part of each other's life.
Last point I want to make, I said it in the last show, is that if you want to see how some guy, a Harry Potter fan, goes ahead and kind of makes his own Harry Potter stories, go and check out the Daniel Saletti YouTube channel. I have written 2 out of 4 of my own Harry Potter world stories about how myself and a couple of friends of mine from high school, I based characters off of us and put ourselves into our own world of into the world of Harry Potter. We go on our own adventures. We kind of are like, you know, Harry Potter's next generation of students, basically. I don't know what to call it yet, but go check them out. The ones I have are Harry Potter and the Ongoing Story, Harry Potter and the Christmas Thief, all on the Daniel Saletti YouTube channel. Ashley, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for doing more Harry Potter with me.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Always fun.
My pleasure, yes. Do check out part 1 and part 2, or part 1, the sequel, where we covered years 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. Thank you to our Magic and Tech team. Hope you get to watch Harry Potter someday. My name is Daniel Saletti. This is December when we're taping this, so Merry Christmas to you, and we will see you next time. That has been As the Real Turns. That is a wrap.